socializing, orienting, and developing employees. The insider and outsider passage. Socialization or onboarding is a process of adaptation to a new work rule. Adjustments must be made whenever individuals change jobs. The most profound adjustment occurs when an individual first enters an organization. There are socialization process, and those processes are pre-arrival, encounter, and metamorphosis. Socialization process may be short or long. If the entrance can adjust with the environment, the process may be short. Otherwise, it may be long. It depends on the will and the ability to adjust. Socialization can be conceptualized as a process made up of 3 stages: pre-arrival, encounter, and metamorphosis. The first stage encompasses the learning the new employee has gained before joining the organization. In the second stage, the new employee gets an understanding of what the organization is really like and deals with the realization that the expectations and reality may differ. In the third stage, lasting change occurs. Here, new employees become fully trained in their jobs, perform successfully, and fit in with the values and norms of co-workers. All 3 stages ultimately affect new employees' productivity on the job, their commitment to the organizational goals, and their decisions to remain with the organization. These are 3 stages with which the socialization process comes to an end. If any individual fails to possess these stages, he will not be able to adapt to situation. Purpose of new employee orientation. Program that introduce new hires to their roles and co-workers. Help them understand how they fit into the organization and make their transition easier. Help new hires understand the company's vision, organizational culture, policies, and expectations. Explain how the company is structured. Provide new employees with a list of contacts in each department. Offer reference materials, guides, and cheat sheets. Describe regular procedures, such as how to request a day off or book a meeting room. Ask them to sign non-disclosure agreements and other forms. Go over what a typical workday looks like. Schedule meetings for new employees with the company's leaders and other staff members. Assign them a mentor to answer their questions and guide them. And lastly, review the job description and responsibilities. Employee orientation programs benefit both companies and new hires. Their role is to help new employees feel comfortable on the job and understand what's expected of them. New employees are gradually introduced to their department, receive training materials, and attend meetings, among other activities. Orientation, on the other hand, focuses on their role in the company and prepares them for training. The purpose of the orientation for new employees is to help them feel comfortable in their roles. As a manager, it is your responsibility to show them the right way to get things done. Explain what's expected of them and give them a warm welcome. Employee orientation can lead to lower turnover rates, greater job satisfaction, and reduced stress. Furthermore, It helps prevent misunderstandings and shortens learning curves. Let's now discuss Employee Handbook. Employee Handbook is the HR's permanent reference guide. It is a booklet that describes the important aspect of employment an employee needs to know. Why should we use an employee handbook? An employee handbook, when developed properly, serves both employees and the employer. The handbook serves to communicate policies and procedures to all employees and ensure that any HRM policy will be fair, equitable, and consistently applied. Why is it important to have a well-designed handbook? A well-designed handbook gives employee a central source for such useful information as what the company is about, including its mission, history, policies, employee benefits, organizational culture, work rules, discipline procedures, the appeals process and policies on EEO, harassment, drug abuse, social media use, and electronic communications. Few things that the handbook should not contain. Employers must watch wording and include a disclaimer to avoid implied contracts. For example, telling an employee that she will have a job until she retires if her performance is satisfactory could be construed as an implied employment contract. Various comments expressed in employee handbooks have been held by the courts to be binding on the company, eliminating the employment at will relationship and barring the employer from terminating employees without cause. It is important to note that an employee handbook is of little use if employees don't read it. Handbooks that are wordy, poorly organized, unclear, or contain unnecessary information will discourage employees from reading them. HRM should frequently monitor how useful employees find the employee handbook information. Modifications and updates need to be made and communicated whenever necessary. Employers are finding that putting the employee handbook on the company's HRIS or website is an effective way of making the materials available to employees and allows easy and quick revision. Next is employment development. Employee development is concerned with the employee's growth in ways that help the organization, such as improving critical thinking, decision, supervisory, or teamwork skills. Training focused on developing employee skills that are valuable to the organization. This future-oriented set of activities is predominantly an educational process in today's work environment. All employees, regardless of all levels, can benefit from the methods previously used to develop managerial personnel. Employee development methods. Methods include job rotation, assistant positions, committee assignments, classes, conferences, seminars, case studies, and role plays, and adventure training. Job rotation involves moving employees to various positions in the organization to expand their skills, knowledge, and abilities. Assistance to position allows employees with potential to work under and be coached by successful managers. These individuals do a variety of tasks under the supervision of a supportive coach while working as a staff assistants or serving on special boards. As a result, these employees gain exposure to a wide range of managerial activities and are prepared to take on the responsibilities of the next higher level. Committee assignments can allow the employee to share in decision-making, learn by watching others, and investigate specific organizational problems. Temporary committees are frequently used as a task force to investigate a problem, consider various solutions, and provide recommendations. These short-term projects can be both exciting and beneficial for an employee's professional development. Appointment to permanent committees exposes employees to other members of the organization, broadens their learning, and allows them to grow and offer recommendations while being scrutinized by other committee members. Classes, conferences, and seminars allows access to experts and help individuals develop their conceptual and analytical abilities. Many companies provide incentives for employees to enroll in college courses. Employers, professional organizations, and institutions offer courses or seminars. Employees can see a live lecture or presentation or watch a streaming video at any time with online learning. Classes can be used to earn a degree or to further your education. Case studies, decision games, and role plays are intended to improve decision making. Case studies can provide stimulating discussions among participants as well as excellent opportunities for individuals to defend their analytical and judgmental abilities. It appears to be a rather effective method for improving decision-making abilities within the constraint of limited information. Adventure training typically involves challenges which teach trainees the importance of teamwork. Adventure training has become a popular trend in staff development recently. Adventure training is usually accompanied by a significant emotional and physical hardship. Whitewater rafting, mountain climbing, paintball activities, or surviving a week on a sailing trip may all be on the list. The main goal of this type of training is to teach students how to collaborate. Now, we're down to organizational development and change. Organizational development. It is a planned change that involves the total system and managed with acceptance and commitment of the top management. And it is designed to improve organizational effectiveness. And it also makes use of behavioral science knowledge. There are some features of organizational development, and these are planned change, comprehensive change, long-range change, dynamic process, participation of change agent, emphasis on intervention, emphasis on action research, and normative educational process. Organizational development role is to place emphasis on humanist values and to treat human being as a complex person, and also to increase the level of trust among members of the organization and enthusiasm of all levels. And lastly, to increase the level of group and individual responsibility in planning. Even though organization development is made for improving the organization, just like any other strategies, it also has problems to face that has to be solved. And those are the following. Discrepancy between real and ideal situations. Lack of open system concept. Resistance to change. Lack of motivation among members. And costly programs. And once the problems have been solved, here are the processes to be done to develop an organization. First, the management has to identify the problem, then plan the strategy for change. And after that, they have to intervene the system and lastly, evaluate. And once the process has been done, the organization can now have a good understanding, a proper response, and adaptability. And now, let's move on to change. Change may sound basic and common, but it really plays a huge part in developing an organization. Development won't happen without change. So every member of the organization should be ready for change. It usually affects 4 areas of the organization, and those are systems, technology, processes, and people. As I've mentioned before, change is very important, and understanding its purpose is very essential no matter how minor it may appear. The effect of change became organizational culture issues, and organizational development effort help to ensure that members of the organization will be able to adapt to the organization's new system. Usually, there are 2 metaphors in clarifying change process. Those are the calm water metaphor and the whitewater rapids metaphor. The calm waters metaphor dominated the thinking of practicing managers and academics. The assumption is that once change occurs, the organization encounters a new normal or calm water until the next change is necessary. According to Kurt Lewin, a successful change needs to unfreeze the status quo, switch to new state, and refreeze the new change to make it permanent. And the status quo can be considered as an equilibrium state, and unfreezing can be done in 3 ways. First, increasing the driving forces which direct behavior away from the status quo. Second, decreasing the restraining forces which hinder movement from the existing equilibrium. And 3, the 2 approaches above can be combined. And note that after unfreezing, the change itself can be implemented already. It's very necessary to refreeze the new situation so that it can be sustained over time. Without this last step, the change will be short-lived and employees will go back to their comfortable system. And now, we'll be discussing the whitewater rapids metaphor. This metaphor considers the fact that environment is both uncertain and dynamic. In this case, the end of the change that might happen is unpredictable, and the member of the organization should accept the fact that their jobs do not have the stability and predictability as calm water metaphor has, and that they may face rapid changes bordering on chaos. But this type of metaphor is more applicable all the time because of the rapid and constant existence of environmental factors such as technology, worldwide economy, consumer taste, and preference change. A good example for this is the member of airline organization. Change in their workplace happens depending on many factors such as constantly fluctuating fuel prices, weather changes, government regulations, terrorist threat, mergers, competitive pressures, and customer preferences. There is no calm waters in sight, only turbulence. And now, we're down to the last 2 topics, which are evaluating training effectiveness and international training and development issues. It could be a little more difficult to evaluate if training the managers to have a better communication skills is better than teaching English to the employee as a second language or vice versa. So organizations use Kirkpatrick model. Now, what is Kirkpatrick model? Kirkpatrick model, designed by Donald Kirkpatrick for his PhD dissertation in 1995, is the most widely used model for examining and evaluating the outcomes of educational training and development programs. The model is divided into 4 layers, which include the following. Level 1, reaction, measures how participants react to the training. Level 2, learning, assess what the employee learned from the training. Level 3, behavior, are participants using what they learned? This might observe by management. Level 4, result, impact of the training to the employee. Measures if the training has benefit to employee when they back to the job. This model should not be in order of level 1 to 4. Instead, it should be used in the reverse order. Begin at level 4 by identifying the outcome you want to achieve, then work your way back to level 3 to consider what participants will need to perform on the job to achieve those outcomes, and so on. It would be easier to link the training to the organization's goals as a result of this. Performance-based evaluation. When training leads to higher productivity, new skills, increased efficiency, or other performance metrics, it has 3 methods, which are: first, post-training method. After training, the employee's performance on the job is evaluated. For instance, management will conduct an assessment for the employee who attended the training, which they allow to use the techniques addressed in the training. By that, they will easily determine if there is a behavioral changes to happen. Second, pre-post training performance method. Employees' job performance is evaluated both before and after training to see if any changes have occurred. Before the training, each participant is assessed and rated on the basis of their actual job performance. This method evaluates an employee's performance rating based on the difference between his or her performance before and after training. And the third one is pre-post training performance with control group method. Compares result on instructed group to non-instructed group. International training and development issues. Cross-cultural training is important when working with people from different countries and cultures. It aids employees in being more prepared for travel and provides context for working effectively in a new place and culture. It also improves an individual's knowledge and awareness, allowing them to make better decisions. Cross-cultural training should be an element of staff programs in firms where operating across national borders is essential. Development. In today's global corporate world, international experience is a critical component in the development of top-level executives. Many American executives return with a broader perspective, having worked away from headquarters for a period of time. Mid-level managers, in particular, have more duties than their peers at their level, and they usually develop greater sensitivity and adaptability to various approaches.